October is here, and in my opinion, September was a pretty slow and boring month for sneakers. It did have some highlights, like the Born and Raised Nike Dunks, as well as the Jordan 8 playoffs, and my favorite, the Jordan 2 Black Cement. I don't care what you say, I love that shoe. But October, it's a new month, and I don't think it's that exciting. But regardless, it's time for double up, buy once or pass. And the concept is simple. If I love a shoe, I'll give it a double up. If I like but don't love a shoe, I'll give it a buy once. And pass, that's self-explanatory. Now disclaimer, I couldn't get every single sneaker release onto this list. Video would be way too long. And some shoes, not announced yet, release dates change all the time in the sneaker industry. So this list is not definitive. But again, blame the sneaker companies, not me. Here we go. First up, on October 1st for $160, there are 4 colorways of the shoe. It is the New Balance 2002 R Protection Pack, and the 4 colorways are Dark Moss, Eclipse, High Desert, and Sandstone. Now the 2002 R, obviously since 2021, that's when it really broke through the sneaker industry. The momentum of that shoe has been unstoppable, and the Protection Pack comes in that more worn or distressed vintage kind of aesthetic. That is a very, very popular shoe. The shoe uses a ripstop base layer instead of the usual mesh that you've seen on past Protection Pack sneakers. Obviously, in that kind of torn and worn aesthetic that the Protection Pack is known for. It utilizes New Balance's energy cushioning. Now, I actually already have the Sandstone colorway. Now, I might do a review of this shoe, I'm not sure. Definitely won't be able to get it out before October 1st. But with all that said, I'm not usually like a huge New Balance guy. I'm not even a big Protection Pack person. I know that's kind of blasphemous to say in 2023. A lot of people love that shoe. But myself, I've never been a huge fan of that silhouette. But when I saw this colorway, I did like it. I think the colors work very well. I think if you like that aesthetic, that more running shoe vibe, you're gonna really love any of these colorways. Personally for me, honestly, every colorway was pretty nice. The Sandstone, for me, it was just a bit more wearable, so I went with that colorway. Now, if I had to choose a colorway that's not the Sandstone colorway, I think I would probably go with the Eclipse colorway. Again, I just think it's slightly more wearable than the other colorways. Obviously very subjective, but that's just my opinion. And I have put this shoe on feet. It is comfortable, it is light, it actually suits my wide feet really well. Now, the more I talk about it in this segment of the video, I'm convinced I'm gonna do a review. So if you wanna know my detailed thoughts about these shoes, check out my review that's coming up. But with all that said, I spoke with my wallet. I'm gonna give this shoe a buy once. Next up, on October 3rd for $160 is the Air Max 1 Urawa. Now, I actually do have a review of this shoe. Like, I've filmed it, I've recorded it just before I'm making this video actually. So if you do wanna know my detailed thoughts of that shoe, a review is coming up very soon. It'll come up right after, the day after this video. A quick summary, the shoe is paying tribute to the Urawa Dragons, aka Urawa Red Diamonds. They are a Japanese football club in the J-League, which is their professional football league. And actually this shoe is a sequel to the 2004 version of the Air Max 1 Urawa. So that shoe featured a predominantly red upper sole. This shoe kind of changes up the colors. So the upper sole comes with a black mesh base layer with pure platinum overlays with hints of red as well as gold. And the shoe features a branded Urawa Dragons logo on the booty of the shoe as well as the insoles. And I think it's a very, very nice colorway. Super wearable, super clean, super simple. Now, if I had to choose between this shoe, the sequel, and the 2004 version, you're gonna have to watch my review to see which one I would choose. But I think both of them are very, very well done. Can't really go wrong. And again, I spoke with my wallet. I do have this shoe in hand, recorded a review of it already. So for this shoe, I'm gonna give it a buy once. Next up, on October 5th for $220, it is a collaboration between Concepts and New Balance for the 998 Made in USA C-Note. Now this shoe is actually a retro of a shoe that came out in 2013. Around October, I think the official date was October 8th, 2013. The US, they redesigned the $100 bill. So this shoe is actually inspired by the $100 bill. Now this shoe features a mesh base layer with suede overlays and 3M reflective panels. And it is made in USA, as you'll see on the tongue. So it's at least 70% domestic value. And it also features Concepts branding on the vamp of the shoe. I don't believe in 2013 the original version of the shoe had that branding, so that's a change. And the shoe also features a currency bill inspired box, as well as what seems like an off-white sail midsole. Of course, they couldn't help themselves, had to stick sail on their midsole, but overall, I really like the colors on the shoe. It just works. There's a lot of colors, but none of them are like super loud and super bright. I really think it works very well. And of course, I like money. You like money. Everyone likes money. So why not spend money to get a shoe that's inspired by money? For this shoe, I'm definitely gonna give it a buy once. Not a double up. I don't think it's enough to be a double up, but I'm gonna give it a buy once. Next up, on October 6th, for $190, it is 2 pairs of the Air More Uptempo Low in collaboration with Ambush. So it comes in a black and white colorway as well as a lilac and apple green colorway. Now, Ambush is a brand founded by Yoon Ahn. She is a very prominent figure in streetwear and fashion overall. So the Uptempo's a very 90s and retro shoe. It's very bulky, very clunky. Even the low version of it looks very chunky. I've never been a huge fan of the silhouette. The air on the side of the shoe, it looks very unique, very different, but I've never loved it. Even back in the 90s, I never loved this shoe. And I think out of these two colorways, one is obviously a lot more wearable, a lot more versatile. The lilac and green colorway, for me personally, way too loud. However, I did see Yoon wear the lilac and green colorway on her, I can't remember if it was Twitter or Threads. She did post a picture of her outfit with those shoes. She made it work, it looks good. For me personally, I would never know how to pull that off. The black and white colorway would be the colorway that I would choose out of these two, but if you can pull off the other colorway, good on you. Now both these shoes comes with Ambush branding on the heel as well as the insole. And I will say this, I've always been a fan of Yoon Ahn. She is dope, like she creates some really cool things, but I do wish Nike would give her a silhouette that's like maybe a bit more popular with more hype behind it, even a Jordan brand silhouette. Like if she designed a Jordan 1, Jordan 3, Jordan 4, even have a go at the Jordan 2s, the Uptempos, the Uptempo highs, the Uptempo lows. Personally, just not for me. So for these shoes, I'm gonna give them both a pass. Also dropping on October 6th for $130 is the Ja 1 We Ain't Duckin' No Smoke, or previously We Ain't Duckin' No Smoke. Now originally, this shoe was supposed to say We Ain't Duckin' No Smoke on the heel of the shoe. Now the origin behind that quote, Ja Morant is a superstar in the NBA, he plays for the Memphis Grizzlies, and in a game after they destroyed the New York Knicks, he said, I quote, "Ain't no running in the M. We climb up the chimney. We ain't ducking no smoke." And then he said this again against the Timberwolves in the playoffs that year. He faced Patrick Beverley, who's known to be like this annoying pest, especially defensively. He just like one of those players you'd love to have on your team, but hate to be against. He said the same exact thing when they were facing the Timberwolves, so it's become like Ja's quote. And originally, Nike was gonna stick that quote on the heel. Since then, since he said those things, Ja Morant's been in a bit of controversy. So because of that controversy, like he said, we're gonna change it. We're just gonna stick the usual Ja 1 branding, remove the quote. And I wish they didn't. I wish they would just keep the original quote on the shoe. It would have looked so cool. It would have just been like a very different Ja 1 instead of just like another colorway of the Ja 1. Just wish they didn't backtrack. Nike definitely ducked a lot of smoke. With all that said, the shoe features a black upper sole and this kind of reflective gray silver wrap on the swoosh, and it comes with off-white midsoles, because of course it does, with mismatching Ja branding on the tongue, as well as on the inside of the tongue, one shoe says Ja, and on the other one, Ja Morant's number 12. Now I think the Ja 1 is generally one of the better new basketball signature shoes for Nike. I think the Sabrina 1s are really nice, but I also think the Ja 1s are very nice as well. And in this all black colorway, right up my alley, I do like the look of it. But because they changed it, because we knew what it could have been, we knew they could have put that quote, and they were going to put that quote on the heel of the shoe. I just don't like that they changed it. So I'm gonna give this shoe a pass. And next up, on October 7th for $170, it is the MX2 CB94 Hemp and Baroque Brown. Now this shoe is a signature shoe for Charles Barkley. If you don't know who Charles Barkley is, what's going on? Go on YouTube, search his highlights. He's not just an analyst on TNT inside the NBA. He is a Hall of Fame NBA player, and he was an absolute monster back in the day. And again, just like the Uptempos, this shoe is just so 90s. Just look at how bulky or chunky it kind of looks. The high top basketball shoes, that was like the norm back then. And this shoe was designed by Tinker Hatfield, and around this time, he really put straps on a bunch of shoes, like the Nike Air Raid, like the Jordan 8 Playoffs that I just reviewed, as well as this shoe. So this shoe features a hemp-based layer with coconut milk and Baroque brown overlays. The colors on the shoe I don't think are bad. I kinda like it, but my favorite thing is that red Nike Visible Air unit on the heel. I think that looks really cool, but the silhouette for me, yeah, it's a no for me. I can't do the silhouette. It's just not my thing. Everything that's going on the shoe, yeah, I'm gonna have to say no. For this shoe, I'm gonna give it a pass. Also Also dropping on October 7th for $200 is the Air Jordan 6 Aqua. Now the Aqua colorway, obviously it is an OG colorway for the Jordan 8, but Jordan brand, they want us to keep waiting, they want us to yearn for more. They're not going to retro the Jordan 8 Aquas, even though everyone wants them to. They're going to put the Aqua colorway first on the Jordan 5s and then on the Jordan 6. Now I do have the Jordan 5 Aqua. It's not truly like an exact Aqua colorway. You see that part, that's where the Aqua is supposed to come into play. It's not exactly the same as the Jordan 8 Aqua, but the Jordan 6 Aqua does stick more true to the Jordan 8 Aqua colorway. The shoe does feature an all-black nubuck base layer, as well as a visible Nike Air unit, and I thought hard about getting that shoe to review, but I decided against it. I'm about to go on vacation very soon, so don't think it would have arrived in time. And even though we all do prefer OG colorways on the actual shoe, I think the shoe does look nice. The Jordan 6s have never been a favorite of mine, but I do love black sneakers. I like the Aqua against the black, but the Jordan 6s they don't fit my feet very well. They don't look very nice. I have wide feet. When I look down from a bird's eye view at a Jordan 6, there's a lot of spillover, so it doesn't look very pleasant. So unless the Jordan 6s come with like a super nice colorway, one that I really like, and I can't deny, I generally don't go for them. So for this shoe, even though I do like it in a vacuum, for me personally, it's just not a great fit. So for this shoe, I'm gonna give it a pass. Next up, on October 10th, for $150, it is the Air Jordan 2 Low Chicago's Twist, and it is a woman's exclusive. Now this shoe is dropping exclusively in Japan on October 10th. It'll drop later in the United States later that month, and this is a very simple Jordan 2 Low. It features a white base leather layer with black and red accents, a red Wings logo on the tongue, as well as a coconut midsole. I think removing the coconut milk midsole, I think the colors really will look nice on the shoe. Obviously Chicago colors, hence the name of the shoe, so you can't really go wrong with that, but that coconut milk color on the midsole, I just don't get why they have to do that. Just revert back to a white midsole, I beg you. Please, make that the default going forward. Now, I've seen a ton of Jordan 2 Lows in 2023. Not sure if this is the final one. I think there's a few more Jordan 2s, not the lows, that are coming up in the holiday season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they like squeeze 2 or 3 more Jordan 2 lows before the end of the year. But this one, I think it's a nice one. There's not really much to say about it. It's just 3 primary colors, Chicago colors on a Jordan 2 low, a silhouette that not a lot of people love. I actually think the low version of the Jordan 2 is more versatile and looks nicer on feet, goes with more things. So for the shoe, even though it's nice, I don't really like it enough to go and get it. So I'm gonna give it a pass. Next up, on October 12th for $150, it is an Air Max 1 medium olive. This is a very standard Air Max 1, just a general release, very simple Air Max 1. And the Air Max 1 is my favorite Air Max. It's like the only Air Max that I go for. And the olive color, I do really like olive. This is about as simple as you can get when it comes to an Air Max 1. It features a white mesh base layer, gray suede mid panels with a black swoosh and olive suede overlays. Again, just like the Jordan 2 Low Chicago Twist, there's not a whole lot to say about this shoe. Very standard, and I do have a soft spot for Air Max 1s when it comes in a colorway that I like. Hard for me to say no. So for this shoe, I'm gonna give it a buy once. Next up, on October 13th for $140, it is the Air Jordan 1 Low OG University Red. I don't know if it's just my mind playing games on me, but it does feel like we're getting quite a lot of Air Jordan 1 Low OGs recently. So we had the UNC to Chicago, the Black Toe, the Atmosphere Gray, and then this shoe. I swear there was one before this shoe, between the Atmosphere Gray and this. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but this is another Air Jordan 1 Low OG. Now this shoe comes with a white leather base layer with a red swoosh, and it is the first Jordan 1 Low OG to drop in October. But it's not the last, so remember that. You'll see another one later on this list. And this is super clean. White and red shoe, what could go wrong? But I said this when I reviewed the Atmosphere Gray Jordan 1 Low OG. A lot of people said I was wrong, just thought I was crazy. But I said this then, and I'll say it now. It's a little boring for me. Like, there's not enough of me to really want to pursue the shoe or want it in hand and keep it and add it to my current rotation. Again, I'll reiterate. Super clean, super nice, super easy to wear, but I don't know, there's nothing about it that puts me over the line of, I'm gonna get that shoe. So despite how clean this shoe is, I'm gonna give it a pass. Also dropping on October 13th for $185, it is a Patta collaboration on a Nike Air Max Plus FC Barcelona. Now Patta is a store in Europe, so it makes sense for them to collaborate on an Air Max Plus shoe that has FC Barcelona branding and colors. And FC Barcelona, if you didn't know, it is a soccer club in Europe. I don't know a single thing about soccer. That's about the extent of my knowledge with FC Barcelona, but I do know the colors on the shoe. It is the soccer team's colors. So this shoe also features Barcelona lace braids, as well as lace tips and Patta branded tongue and insoles. And it also comes with a pretty cool looking special branded box. It looks to have suede on the heel counter. Now the colors of the shoe are a bit too loud, a bit too different for me, but two things really prevent me from even like considering the shoe. Number one, it is the MX Plus silhouette. Do not like it at all. Like I mentioned before, the MX1 or the MX90 sometimes, they're pretty much the only MXs that I really like. For the MX Plus, that's a no-go for me. And the second thing is, I just don't care about soccer. It just feels weird if I would get this MX Plus FC Barcelona shoe. It's not like a super nice silhouette that happens to be a soccer club collaboration. Yeah, it's just not my thing. But if you do like soccer, if you do like FC Barcelona, and if you like the MX Plus silhouette, this shoe's for you. For me, I'm gonna have to give this shoe a pass. I will say though, Patta has some really cool clothing. I do encourage you to go on their website. They're not paying me, they're not sponsoring me, but I would be open to that. But they're not. But I do encourage you to go check out their website. They do ship to the US. I think they have some really cool clothing. They also sell their clothing in like United States retail stores. So Concepts, Bodega, Lapstone, and Hammer. They all sell Patta branded clothing. Check it out if you haven't. On October 14th, for $200, it is the Air Jordan 1 Element Gore-tex Sky J Purple. Now if you didn't know, Gore-tex is the waterproof series for Nike and Jordan brand. So last year, we saw the Jordan 5 Gore-tex that released in Europe. I'm still salty that shoe never made it to the United States, or at least I don't think it did. If it did, I missed it, but I think that was a really nice shoe. So this shoe, obviously waterproof, and it also features Sky J Purple nubuck overlays, and the swoosh is printed onto the shoe instead of being stitched like a normal Jordan 1. It also has the Gore-tex branding on the heel, just in case you forgot you were wearing a Gore-tex Jordan 1. And if you look at the outsole, it also looks different than a regular Jordan 1. Now Gore-tex, especially as someone that lives in New England and Boston where it rains, where it snows, I do appreciate them giving us that option. So I'm not opposed to Gore-tex shoes, but the colors on this shoe, not really my thing. That purple and yellowish, brownish, mustard color, not my thing. This shoe, I'm gonna give it a pass. Also dropping on October 14th is another Jordan 1, but not the Gore-tex version of a Jordan 1, just a regular Jordan 1. It is the Air Jordan 1 Mauve for $180. Now Jordan 1 popularity has been declining, and I think it's like colorways like this that makes it decline. There's just too much of them. After so many Jordan 1s we've seen lately, yeah, it's getting a little stale. Jordan 1 Mauve comes with a white base layer, mauve overlays. I don't know what else to say about it. That's it. I'm gonna give this shoe a pass. Also dropping on October 14th for $200 is the LeBron 21 Violet Dust. And the LeBron 21 is LeBron's newest shoe. And I swear at this point, every Nike basketball shoe is just going to be like a slightly different iteration or shape of a Kobe shoe. They just really start to look all very similar now. Like back in the 90s, and I hate to be that guy, but back in the 90s, or even the early 2000s, there were so many different shapes and silhouettes, but I think they got to a point where they figured out a formula that would perform very, very well. And they do have to put performance as the #1 priority because it is a basketball shoe overall. So every shoe starts to like drift towards the same formula because of performance. And then despite it being a different signature shoe, LeBron's start looking like Kobe's, Ja 1s, the Sabrina 1s, they all got a very similar kind of shape to it, and it just becomes a little stale. But with that said, just looking at this shoe in a vacuum, I think the LeBron 21s are a nice looking shoe. And this colorway, I think is pretty unique. And this shoe features a nubuck upper sole in Lakers colors, and you'll see LeBron's signature on the tongue, as well as a crown on the cutout of the outsole. And it is a semi-translucent outsole, which I absolutely love. Now, this isn't the only LeBron 21 that's dropping on October, and because I know what's coming after this, for this colorway, I will have to give it a pass. Also dropping on October 14th for $170, it is the KD3 Aunt Pearl. So if you didn't know, since like 2012, every KD shoe comes with an Aunt Pearl colorway, and that is to honor his late aunt who passed away from cancer. And part of the proceeds goes to charity, and of course it does feature a lot of pink, and it's generally been one of KD's like most sought after colorways for every shoe. People love the Aunt Pearl colorway. For the KD3, I think in a vacuum, just looking at the colorway on this silhouette, I'm not a big fan. I don't know what it is, maybe the two-tone pink on this shoe. It just doesn't work for me. Now the upper sole of the shoe, you'll see patterns all over the overlays, and you'll see the tongues are branded differently, as well as the insoles. But without a doubt, my favorite thing about the KD16 is that outsole. It has that clock or watch gear cogwheel aesthetic to it. I think that's so creative. I love the way it looks. With all that said, the KD16, I'm not a big fan. I love the Aunt Pearl colorways. I love the meaning and message behind it, but the two-tone pink on this shape, not for me. I'm gonna give this shoe a pass. Next up, on October 18th for $180, it is the Air Jordan 1 Satin Bred. It is a woman's exclusive. Now this shoe first released in 2016. It was a super limited release, so like select locations got it, like Atlanta, New York City, I think Houston. There was only 501 pairs of the shoe available. But this time, it is a general release, and I will have a review of the shoe coming up very shortly. But quick summary, the Bred colorway is an OG colorway of the Jordan 1, but the most unique thing about this shoe, as the name suggests, it comes with an all satin upper sole. So it kind of goes after that more luxurious feeling, that more upscale feeling on a sneaker. And in a vacuum, I actually don't really love that satin material, especially all satin. I do love leather. Leather is king in my opinion, but the Bred colorway, undeniable. It just absolutely is undeniable. I recently ranked the top 10 Jordan holiday shoes that's coming up, and this shoe definitely was part of that list, just owing to the simple fact that it's the Bred colorway. I don't really care what materials it comes with, I'm getting it. I'm giving this shoe a double up. Next up, on October 19th for $200, it is the LeBron 21 Melo, and this colorway is inspired by the Melo Pearl, and it is one of the most rare and precious pearls in the world. And looking at the shoe, you can see it's special. Just something about it, the colors, the way it's presented. And this shoe specifically features a leather upper sole and that very, very unique color. I don't even know how I would describe that color, but it looks very nice. And it also has XX1, obviously 21, as an emblem on the heel. And the heel itself, you can see it's like inspired by a pearl. Very unique, it looks very cool. And you'll see the swoosh is actually imprinted in the heel midsole. Really like how that looks. And the shoe also comes with a uniquely branded box. I love the colors and the presentation and the execution of the shoe. So I alluded to earlier when I talked about the LeBron 21 Violet Dust that I gave that shoe a pass because I knew what was coming. And I knew this colorway was coming up. And this colorway, in my opinion, absolutely trumps the Violet Dust colorway. I actually do like the Violet Dust colorway, but this one, just in comparison, releasing in the same month, I'm picking this one. I don't think it's nice enough to be a double up. I'm gonna give it a buy once. Next up, on October 25th for $170, it is the Air Jordan 1 Low 85 Neutral Grey. Now the neutral grey is an OG colorway of the Jordan 1, but back in 1985, when the Jordan 1 was first released, it was actually called Natural Grey. Along the way, I don't know what got lost, it started to be called Neutral Grey, so they're sticking with it. And this is a rare 85 cut version of the Jordan 1 Low. Jordan brand doesn't release 85 cuts that often, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And if you didn't know, the 85 cut, it does have a slightly different shape than the Jordan 1 Low OG version of the shoe, and it also has 8 eyelets instead of 7. I honestly just do not know. It baffles me why they don't just like align it. Just make it 8 eyelets. Just make it uniform. My guess is Jordan brand wants like another segment of the Jordan 1 Low for people to get excited over. So you got the non-OG, the OG, and then the 85 cut. I get it, but I also don't. Now, similar to what I said in my review of the Atmosphere Grey Jordan 1 Low OG, at first glance, this colorway looks very similar. And in that review, I did call that shoe kind of boring. But for this shoe, because of the 85 cut, because we don't see it very often, it is still a very clean and nice wearable colorway. I'm looking forward and excited for this shoe. My one big gripe, they couldn't help themselves. They went with a sail midsole. I don't know why they didn't just keep it white. Just give us the original colorway the way it's meant to be. Despite that complaint, I have to give this shoe a buy once. Next up, on October 27th for $130 is the KD3 Aunt Pearl. In my opinion, the KD3 is one of the best looking KD shoes ever. I love how the pink looks on this shoe. The base layer pink is like very uniform, so there's not like a two-tone pink that you see on the KD16s. Obviously the laces as well as the accents are slightly different pink, but there's not a lot of it. So it's predominantly just that one pink, and on the shoe with the white swoosh as well as the white midsole, I think it works really, really well. And again, just like the KD16 Aunt Pearl, this one is a tribute to his late aunt who passed away from cancer. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this shoe. I myself cannot wait for this shoe to release. I'm gonna get my hands on a pair of the KD3 Aunt Pearl at all costs. I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna give this shoe a double up. And finally, to round out the list, on October 28th for $210, it is a heavy hitter. It is the Air Jordan 12 Cherry. Now the Cherry colorway is an OG colorway of the Jordan 12. A lot of people have been clamoring for the shoe to come back. I myself, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Jordan 12 guy. I don't love the silhouette. If it comes with a very nice colorway, I'll definitely go for it. But in a vacuum, I'm not like sitting here dying for Jordan 12s to come back. And if I remove the OG colorway aspect of the cherries on the Jordan 12 and just look at it as a shoe, like if all shoes were removed from history and I had to look at this shoe with a blank slate, it doesn't get me that excited. But of course, it is an OG colorway, so it does have a little bit more significance. But again, I'll just be honest with you. It doesn't get me super excited. And quick history lesson, if you didn't know, the Jordan 12 was inspired by Japan, nicknamed the land of the rising sun. So you'll see that kind of pattern, the stitching, on the upper sole of the Jordan 12. It's meant to resemble the rays of a sun. So this shoe, it features a white tumbled leather base layer with that faux lizard skin on the mudguard with a Phylon midsole as well as the carbon fiber shank plate. It also features the silver eyelets at the top. In terms of the tech specs, I do like the Jordan 12s. I love carbon fiber, but like I said before, Jordan 12s, not my favorite. A lot of people will clown me, will call me crazy for not absolutely jumping on this shoe, but I just have to be honest. I like it, don't love it, so it's a buy once. So that's it. Thanks for watching Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of this month's sneaker releases. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.